The House will come to order. Today's Pledge of Allegiance is by Zoe Saroja, Lucy Ibarguen, Isaac Stryker, Alexandra Brenner, and they are from the Rabbi Stephen Foster Early Learning Center of Temple Emmanuel.
I pledge allegiance of the United States of America to the republic and one nation under God, indivisible, with all.
Go to the speaker.
Bill signs.
Yeah, Representative Ellis told you that. And I think that's it.
Huh?
Representatives Arndt. Becker J. J. Becker. Becker K. Beckman. Benavides.
What do I do? Are we starting right away?
Bridges. Buck. Buckner. Carver. Catlin. Coleman. Covarrubias. Danielson. Escar. Everett. Everett.
Excuse.
Exum. Foot. Garnett. Janal. Gray. Hamner. Hamner.
Excused.
Hanson. Representative Hamner is present. Herod. Hooten. Hooten.
Excuse.
Humphrey. Jackson. Kennedy. Kraft Tharp. Landgraf. Lawrence. Lee. Leonard. Lewis. Liston. Lontine. Lontine. Lundeen. McKean. McLaughlin. Melton. Michelson Janae. Neville. Pabon. Pedersen. Pedersen.
excuse.
Rankin. Rankin. Oh, there's Ransom.
Excuse.
Ryer. Roberts. Rosenthal. Sane. Salazar.
Let's just calm down.
Oh, Representative Hooten is present. Salazar. Representative Pedersen is present.
Excuse.
Sandridge. Sias. Singer. Thurlow. Valdez. Oh. Van Winkle. Weissman. Representative Salazar is present. Willett. Williams. Wilson. Winter. Winter.
Excuse.
West. Representative Winter is present. Young. Madam Speaker.
Here.
So it's just Everett and Rance.
Don't worry, Marilyn, I'm ready.
With 62 present and 2 excused, 1 vacant, we do have a quorum. Representative Herod.
Good morning, Madam Speaker. I move that the reading of the Journal of Wednesday, March 14, 2018 be dispensed with and approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk.
All right, members, you have heard the motion. All of those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed signify by saying no. All right, that motion passes. Announcements and introductions. Representative Singer.
Good morning, members. On your desks, you see these amazing purple bags. I didn't put them together for you, but the Colorado Charitable Bingo Association did as a reminder to join them today at, yes, we're going to hear about bingo at CATA. At the Auto Dealers Association today, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. We'll see you at CATA and have a good time talking with your area nonprofits. All right, we got one bingo here. See you there.
All right, I have an announcement as well. Representative McKean will replace Representative Liston on the Business Committee today only. Further announcements or introductions? Representative Landgraf.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I could stand here till you guys quiet down.
Do you need some help, Representative Landgraf?
Please.
Members, it's very loud in here. Representative Landgraf.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This is important because this is the last day I can announce that tomorrow we are proclaiming Women in Public Office Day. The Lieutenant Governor, I was going to call her the mayor, the Lieutenant Governor and the Attorney General will be speaking. We've invited women who are in office from across the state. We will have the press there. And we have cake. So it's Friday, whatever it takes, March 16th, first floor, West Foyer, 8 a.m. And you can tweet this out at Elected Women. Thank you. I hope to see all of the women and a bunch of the men.
Further announcements or introductions? Representative Cathcart.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Want to remind everyone about the Colorado Healthcare Association reception tonight at the Warwick from 5 to 7 o'clock. Come and celebrate healthcare.
Lots of announcements and introductions this morning. Madam Speaker Pro Tem Danielson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, members. And sorry, Marilyn, I'm going to give myself another fine. Up to the Speaker of how much? Because we have some honored guests in the chamber today, up in the gallery and right here on the floor, if you would please stand up and welcome the Colorado Women's Foundation. And as you know, the Women's Foundation of Colorado fights for a future where Colorado women and girls of every background and identity may prosper. I thank you for your work, and I thank you for being here today.
Yes, on behalf of the entire General Assembly, thank you for all the work that you do to advance economic security for all of Colorado's women. Further announcements or introductions, Representative Young, good morning.
Good morning, Madam Speaker. Thank you. And members, appropriations. Page 8, there's been some additional bills added, so please take a moment. If you think you might have a bill on appropriations, take a look at page 8. The list is longer. And those members of appropriations, we will see you at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning in LSBA. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Further announcements or introductions, Representative Janal.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And first of all, I want to welcome the women from Fort Collins who are here with the Women's Foundation of Colorado and some neighbors. Thank you very much for being here. And members, after you visit the Sportsman's Caucus for your hot dog today, come across the hall to the Claw Caucus, which is the Animal Welfare Caucus. And today we're having a program manager for the Pet Animal Care Facilities Act, a licensing and inspection program that's dedicated to protecting the health and the well-being of animals in Colorado. And he will discuss what his organization does and how inspections of pet animal facilities are done. And he also is going to talk about shelters and rescues and reports from pet stores. So I hope to see you down in room 107 from noon to 1:15. Thank you.
Representative Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, I'm so excited that Representative Janal pointed out the fact that there are hot dogs across the hall from the Claw Caucus. On the other side of the hallway there, we believe that animals have a great place, and today that place is on our plates. So we will be having those hot dogs, but pay attention to this one. We will be getting the CPW bill here in this chamber. Last year we passed it out of here, it died in the Senate. This year they passed it out of the Senate unanimously. We will be hearing that, and today we will be discussing that bill along with Dick Ray from the Colorado Outfitters. So it'll be a great time for you to be there, because that's a great bill, and we want to be sure that you understand that before we see it on the floor.
Representative, is that Representative Arndt? Yes. Representative Arndt.
Sorry. Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. Exactly what Representative Wilson said.
Further announcements or introductions? Representative Lee.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just a slight change in the order of bills in the Judiciary Committee. We'll be hearing part of House Bill 1262 at the opening of the hearing, and then moving into 1065, and then coming back to 1262. Thanks.
Announcements or introductions. Representative Melton, Representative Everett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And so we're halfway through the session. I got nothing. So tomorrow is bow tie,
Bolo,
baby,
scarf,
ascot,
the other thing.
Friday. Do
Thank
it.
you.
Further announcements or introductions. I saw Representative Roberts first. Representative Roberts. I did. He was patiently waiting, and you guys just were storming the well. Representative Roberts.
Thank you.
And members, I need to get your attention.
Members, very, very important announcement. Tomorrow we will be giving out this piece of House history. This jacket has been in the House chamber since 1993, been passed down from many different members. And since St. Patrick's Day is on a Saturday, we have to do this tomorrow. So if you would like to win this jacket and get on the list of the many members who have possessed this jacket over the years, come to my desk and guess how many M&Ms are in this jar. The person who is closest will win the jacket tomorrow morning. Today is the last day to make your guess, so come to my desk. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Representative Roberts. Representative Jackson, Weissman, Michelson, Jade, Melton, and Buckner.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, it is our day today. It is Aurora Day at the Capitol. Please say hi to all of our Aurora friends on both sides of the aisle. Say hello, say hello, say hello. So we're going to give you some things I know that you don't know about Aurora, other than the fact that you know that the best foe can be found in Aurora. There's a couple of other things you don't know. Let's see. Any of you ever been to the Wings Over the Rockies Museum? Air and Space Museum at the former Lowry Air Force Base, which is part of my district. It features a 3/4 scale Star Wars X-Wing that's on loan from Lucasfilms. Come on down, check it out sometime. We've got lots of great stuff happening in Aurora.
Representative Weissman.
Thank you, and I would also like to extend my welcome to our constituents who are visiting us today. We have other folks from Aurora over in the Senate. We'll be meeting with folks and just talking issues at lunch, and people have the chance to observe committees all day. One of the interesting things to note about Aurora is that it is home to Buckley Air Base, which is one of the very largest employers in our city and home to every branch of our military. It's actually across the street from my house, and when the jets take off, sometimes the clocks on my wall rattle. Another fun fact about Aurora is that we were denominated by our first ever poet laureate the Ellis Island of the Plains in recognition of our city's diversity.
Hello, members. And additionally, what you might not know about Aurora is in 1955, then President Dwight D. Eisenhower spent 7 weeks recovering from a heart attack at Aurora's Fitzsimmons Army Medical Center in my House district. Fitzsimmons Army Medical Center was also the birthplace of Secretary of State and 2004 Democratic presidential nominee John Kerry. And you might also not know that the mayor of Aurora lives in House District 30.
Representative Buckner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. What you might not know is I moved to Aurora in 1975. Wow. That's a long time ago, and the city has changed dramatically, and it's one of the most diverse cities in the state. Welcome to all the constituents from Aurora today.
Representative Melton.
And I just want to give a shout out to Aurora and House District 41 if you're in the House. And we have the best water, the best people, the best community. We are the best in the state of Colorado. Go Aurora.
Go Aurora. Go Aurora. All right. Thank you for joining us today at the Capitol. Thank you for our wonderful legislators who are representing Aurora well. Further announcements or introductions, Representative Janal.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I just want to let you all know that tomorrow is Colorado Hemophilia Awareness Day at the Capitol, and there will be folks from 7:30 to 9 tomorrow outside of basement room 112, and it would be great if you drop down to visit these folks. They will have breakfast, and it's a great way to learn more about fighting the good fight against the inheritable bleeding diseases that a lot of people face. So, again, Colorado Hemophilia Awareness Day tomorrow, 7:30 to 9, basement of the Capitol.
Further announcements or introductions? Representative Kennedy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have a group of students here from Green Mountain High School today. If you guys wouldn't mind standing up, and everyone please give them a warm welcome. Go Rams!
Welcome to the Capitol. Thank you for joining us. Further announcements or introductions? Seeing no further announcements or introductions, that does take us to general orders, second reading of bills. Representative Herod. All right, members, you have heard the motion. Representative Herod will take the chair.
This is awesome, thank you. Good, you're good. Appreciate it. What, is that all I need to do?
Yeah, that's all you need.
Okay.
You're okay with it all?
Yeah, I'm perfect with it.
All right.
But I shouldn't phrase things that aren't perfect. I think it's perfect. Thank you for your work.
Yeah, no. I'll get it signed and leave it on your desk.
Highlighted means amendment. So then, and where do I do? And is there not? The committee will come to order. With your unanimous consent, the bill will be read by title unless there's a request for reading of the bill at length. Committee amendments will not be read unless requested, as they are printed in your bill folders. Floor amendments will be shown on the screen and on your iPads and not read unless requested. Bills will be laid over upon motion of the majority leader. The court rule is relaxed. Mr. Connor, please read the title of Senate Bill 74.
Senate Bill 74 by Senator Thomas Representative Hanson concerning adding individuals Prater Willie syndrome to the list of persons with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
Representative Hanson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 74 on second readings.
To the bill.
Okay. Thank you very much. We didn't have any amendments in committee. This is a fairly straightforward bill. We're looking to help out the families that are dealing with Prader-Willi syndrome. This is a genetic disorder, not curable, and something that several hundred families in Colorado are dealing with on a daily basis. This bill would simply add that to the IDD list and make it easier for them to access the services they need from the state. And I'd urge your support of Senate Bill 74.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us. Oh, Representative Ransom.
I'm not going to. Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to explain my no vote on this bill. I actually recognize that there are some real issues with this syndrome, and we met some people that are suffering with it. But just so that you know, one of the stats was that about 60% of the people don't have symptoms, and so we didn't want to give them a default access to Medicaid and all the services that go with it. That being said, I recognize that the bill was unanimous out of the Senate, and that there could be some reasons for the people that do suffer with this to get services. But again, 60% of the people that are diagnosed with this syndrome have no symptoms and do not need services. So thank you for listening.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 74. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Senate Bill 74 passes.
Thanks.
Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to lay over Senate Bill 2 to the bottom of the second reading calendar today.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, and Senate Bill 2 will be laid over to the end of the calendar today. Mr. Randall, please read Senate Bill 34.
Senate Bill 134 by Senator Cook, House Representative Arnn, concerning the exemption of nonprofit water companies from regulation by the Public Utilities Commission.
Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to lay over Senate Bill 134 till the end of the calendar today.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, Senate Bill 134 will be laid over to the end of the calendar today. Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to lay over Senate Bill 99 till March 19th.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, Senate Bill 99 will be laid over as requested by the Majority Leader. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1254.
House Bill 1254 by Representative Van Winkle, concerning the modification of the foreclosure process and properties encumbered by a deed of trust.
Representative Van Winkle.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 1254 and the Finance Committee report.
To the committee report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We made some technical corrections, struck a section of the bill, and clarified a few things.
Is there any further discussion on the Finance Committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of the Finance Committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no? The ayes have it. To the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This bill comes out of a very long and lengthy stakeholder process. This bill will modernize and clarify certain aspects of the role of a public trustee in the foreclosure process. Public trustees are a neutral third party in the foreclosure of deeds of trust, releases deeds of trust, and tax escrow accounts for counties statewide. This bill will save taxpayer money and help public trustees operate more efficiently. I ask for a yes vote.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1254? Representative Pabon.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I rise in support of House Bill 1254. Representative Van Winkle did excellent work in the Finance Committee, scoring up the technical amendments needed, as he explained in the Finance Committee report. This is a good bill for consumers and helps expedite this process. So ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is a passage of House Bill 1254. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. House Bill 1254 passes. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1259.
House Bill 1259 by Representative Gray, House Senator Marble, concerning providing marijuana samples to employees for business purposes.
Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to lay over House Bill 1259 one day to Friday, March 16th.
Is there any objections? Seeing none, House Bill 1259 is laid over as at the request of the Assistant Majority Leader. Mr. Randall, please read the title of Senate Bill 165.
Senate Bill 165 by Senator Neville and Todd, House of Winter and Sane, concerning requirements for public administrators.
Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Not seeing the sponsors, let's move to lay over House Bill 165 to the end of the second reading calendar today.
Is there any objection? Seeing none, Senate Bill 165 will be laid over at the request of the Assistant Majority Leader. Mr. Randall, please read the title of Senate Bill 2.
Senate Bill 2 by Senators Quorum and Sonnenberg, House Representatives Becker, Kay, and Duran, concerning the financing of broadband deployment.
Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 2 and the Agriculture, Livestock, and Natural Resources Report.
To the committee report.
To the committee report, we made several changes. There were some PUC technical amendments. We also put back the FCC standard in it. I would ask for your support, but not until we also have an amendment to the committee report.
Majority Leader Becker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move L052 and ask that it be displayed.
Thank you. Amendment L052 is probably before us and displayed. Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. L052 changes the method of calculation for small rural telecom providers that continue to receive funding under the High Cost Support Fund during the drawdown to the average of funds received between 2015 and 16. This returns providers to the amount more consistent with the amount they historically received. I ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on the amendment? Representative Landgraf.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm just wondering if you can explain the date change, what exactly, why you're doing that, and what is the impact?
Majority Leader Becker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There is no date change in here. The date that's referred to is the date of the ag report, but what is referred to is how we average the payment to the small rural telecoms, and just it specifies that it'll be the average between their high watermark and their low watermark years for purposes of getting their remaining share of the high cost support fund.
Representative West.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I asked for a no vote on 052. Members, this relates to an issue in ongoing litigation. We do not put our finger on the scale in ongoing pieces of litigation. We let those resolve through the court system. I ask for a no vote.
Is there any further discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of Amendment L052 to the committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no? No. Amendment L052 passes. Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We would ask for a yes vote on the committee report.
Oh, then you need to do it now.
Yeah, we got to do it now. Sorry.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I was too slow.
Representative Hansen.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I would like to bring Amendment 051, L051, to the committee report. I handed it to Jacob.
Please move the amendment.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This amendment is just a technical...
Representative Hansen, please just move the amendment.
Oh, apologies. I move L051.
Thank you. Amendment L051 is displayed and properly before us. Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, this is really a one-word technical change to fix a technical error that we agreed to in an amendment in committee. We agreed to go to an 8-7 board in committee, creating an odd number of 15 for the total board membership, and we struck a compromise on the composition and appointment authority for all of those. Unfortunately, when we drafted that amendment, we missed this one word change that needed to happen to make that amendment into force. So we get to the 8-7 that we agreed to. And so I'd ask for your support on L051.
Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a friendly amendment. Ask for your support.
Is there any further discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of Amendment L051 to the committee report. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Amendment L051 passes. Representative Buck.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I move SB 002 L055 and ask that it be exposed.
Amendment L055 is probably before us. Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I agree that we need to transition the high-cost support mechanism to the state broadband fund. Although, as you know, CenturyLink does subsidize a lot of telephone lines to the consumers for price affordability. And this is a compromise that would allow them to transition from supporting voice services to supporting broadband services. Taking too much support away from the constituents and other rural constituents too quickly would cause rate shock to their phone bills. So I ask that this compromise be made. So I ask for an aye vote.
Madam Majority Leader Becker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As is drafted in the current bill, the flow of funding from the High Cost Support Fund over to the Broadband Fund is an amount that we reached consensus with our Republican Senate sponsors. And because we have agreement with them, and because we think this is the right thing to do for rural Colorado, I ask for a no vote on the Buck amendment.
Is there any further discussion on the amendment? Representative West.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move as a substitute amendment L054 and ask that it be displayed.
The substitute amendment is properly before us. Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This takes us back to the staggering envision in the original introduced version of the bill for all of the reasons that were articulately explained by my colleague, Representative Buck. I ask for an aye vote on L054.
Majority Leader Becker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Representative West, for your engagement on the issue. Again, because we've reached consensus with our Republican Senate sponsors, and because this is the right thing to do for Colorado to get broadband in rural communities faster, I ask for a no vote on this substitute amendment.
Further discussion. Minority Leader Neville.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, I encourage an aye vote on L054. I think this is going to bring us back to the introduced version, which is really what all the stakeholders came to and agreed upon. And quite frankly, I think if this amendment is adopted, it's going to prevent CenturyLink from having to raise costs on their rural customers that aren't in dense areas right away. So it allows them to actually step down and move away from the high cost fund that they currently rely on for keeping those costs lower in some of the rural areas now in a more manageable way than the step down that's in the bill without the amendment.
Representative Buck.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I have to be honest with you, for all my urban legislator friends, no impugning here, but I have to tell you these rural people need this slow transition. So I ask absolutely if you would help the rural folks out on their bill so there is no shock to their system. I would appreciate an aye vote. Thank you.
Majority Leader Becker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And again, I appreciate that we all have the interests of rural residents in mind. My district is largely rural. And every day, what I hear about most from my rural residents is healthcare and broadband. Rural residents want broadband now. And the $500 million that CenturyLink has gotten in the last 9 years in subsidy goes way beyond what is needed to support rural landlines. Folks are getting rid of their landlines at unprecedented rates. They are not using them anymore. And the funding that they get goes way beyond any subsidy for rural landlines. So this bill is, and the way we've structured it now, is responding to what rural Coloradans want. I ask for a no vote on the WIST amendment.
Is there any further discussion on the amendment? Representative Esgar.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, we sat through a long committee hearing, and then we sat through another long committee hearing talking about the amendments. And the question came up is, how much has CenturyLink been subsidized through the high cost fund for years? And it's in the hundreds of millions of dollars. And then I asked specifically, what percentage of that fund has been given to CenturyLink? 95%. So that's the idea of how much money we've been giving them to do this. This is not going to impact their bottom line the way that they are expressing it is. This is money, taxpayer dollars, that we've been giving them. We've been subsidizing them. So the way that the bill is currently is just fair.
Representative West.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, members, make no mistake, this is about one thing. It's about the fact that those customers who rely on their landline service will have a rate increase. I don't think we've gotten a clear answer to that question. There will be a rate increase, and we will all be hearing from our constituents about it. So that's what's at stake. It's not a matter of broadband versus landline. This is a matter of fairness for consumers, phasing this in. Keep in mind that Senate Bill 2 was introduced in the manner it was for a reason. This went through a very extensive stakeholder process to arrive at this interval stair step for how this phase out would go. That was negotiated in the interest of consumers. That's what this discussion's about. It's about what's fair and appropriate for consumers who rely on this very important service. I ask for a yes vote.
Is there any further discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of Amendment L054. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no? No. Amendment L054 is lost. Is there any further discussion on Amendment L055? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of Amendment L055. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no? No. Amendment L055 is lost. To the committee report. Majority Leader Becker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I ask for an aye vote on the Ag, Livestock, and Natural Resources Committee report.
The question before us is the adoption of the committee report. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no? No. The committee report passes. To the bill. Madam Speaker.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. We are now to the bill. And members, I would like to ask your support of Senate Bill 2. I want to thank all the stakeholders who have put a lot of time and energy and due diligence to be able to get to where this bill is right now. And we have an opportunity to make sure there's more access to broadband in the state of Colorado. We know that this is crucial to make sure that students have access to quality education, that patients have access to affordable health care. And when we think about the fact that Colorado has one of the strongest economies in the country, we need to make sure that that is felt in every single community, including our rural communities. If we are able to get this passed, this will mean economic development for some of our rural areas of the state, and I ask for your support.
Majority Leader Becker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A couple of days ago, I was driving out to the rural part of my district talking to some folks on the phone when I lost service. And then I get to the library, and only immediately in the library could I access the internet, not in the parking lot, nowhere else. No service, no broadband, no phone service, nothing. And this has an impact on rural Coloradans' everyday lives. With this bill, we are responding to a multi-year request to get state dollars to help subsidize rural broadband, because this is what those communities need in order to meet the educational needs of our students, meet our hospital and healthcare needs, meet small business needs, and keep rural Colorado thriving. So I ask for an aye vote.
Representative McLaughlin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We need to make sure that rural Colorado gets into the 21st century, and to do that, you need broadband. Don't fool yourself that broadband's not important, because you probably have it all the time. I can drive around many parts of my district, and there is absolutely nothing in there. We can drive for hours and have no broadband. This is essential for small business growth, for just for economic development in Southwest Colorado in particular. That's my people, but all of rural Colorado. We really, really need broadband, and all we ask is to help us get into the 21st century. Thank you.
Representative Melton.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's an honor to serve with you.
And with you. Representative Valdez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And it's an honor to serve with you.
And with you.
I stand here in support of Senate Bill 002 because in Southern Colorado, we need to continue the conversation and continue our communication with broadband throughout Colorado, and to connect individuals all the way from Montanito to Denver and throughout Colorado. This bill will support individuals in our communities and increase education, but most importantly, economic development in rural Colorado, where there's a huge need right now. So I stand in strong support, and I thank our sponsors for bringing this bill forward. Thank you.
Representative Wilson. Any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 2. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. Senate Bill 2 passes. Mr. Rano, please read the title of Senate Bill 134.
Senate Bill 134 by Senator Cook, House of Representatives Martin, concerning exemption of nonprofit water companies for regulation by the Public Utilities Commission.
Representative Arndt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 134. There is no committee report.
To the bill.
To the bill. This bill is a bill that has to do with small water treatment companies that serve that are nonprofit, and we're asking to regulate them the way we do with REAs, and we still have a complaint mechanism if they have a problem with their rate structure to the PUC. And I urge an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 134. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no.
Regulation bill. It is.
Senate Bill 134 passes. Mr. Rano, please read the title of Senate Bill 165.
You want me to move it? You can move it.
Senate Bill 165 by Senators Neville and Todd, also Representative Winter and Sane, concerning requirements for public administrators.
Representative Sane.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 18-165.
To the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, what this bill does, this is a result of a Legislative Audit Committee bill. Based on an audit, we want to make sure that public administrators have a high enough DON to make sure we're protecting these estates and conservatorships. So what this bill does is it clarifies not only that there's going to be an annual report of account filings with costs and fees included,
an increased bond requirement to $100,000, and it must be filed by both public administrators and deputy public administrators.
Representative Winter.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a good bill that offers some more consumer protections around public administrators. The Judicial Department is in support, and it came from an audit, and I encourage a yes vote.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is a passage of Senate Bill 165. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. Senate Bill 165 passes.
Recess. Go to a brief recess. She's right there.
Representative Melton.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to the committee rise and report.
Seeing no objection, the committee will rise and report.
The House will come to order. Mr. Randall, please read the report of the Committee of the Whole.
Madam Speaker, the Committee of the Whole Big League report as of consideration of all attached bills being seven and their mixed following conditions are on. House Bill 1254 is amended, passed third reading, order goes place counter for third reading, final passage. Senate Bill 2 is amended, Senate Bill 74, Senate Bill 134, Senate Bill 165, passing regular order revised, place counter for third reading, final passage. House Bill 1259 laid over until March 16, 2018, retaining its place on the calendar. Senate Bill 99 laid over until March 19, 2018, retaining its place on the calendar.
Representative Harrod. All right, members, you have heard the motion. There are no amendments at the desk. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote.
Thank you. I wasn't sure how it Representative Lundeen. Please close the machine. With 62 yes votes, 2 no votes, 1 vacancy, the report of the Committee of the Whole is adopted.
All right. That takes us to consideration of Senate amendments to House bills. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1012.
House Bill 1012 by Representative Baker J. and Lantin, also Senators Lundberg and Aguilar, concerning vision care plans for eye care services.
Representative Lantin.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And because my co-prime is tall, I'll leave the podium up.
You make the motion. I'm not going.
Madam Speaker, I move to concur with Senate amendments on House Bill 1012.
All right, that's properly moved. Would you like to tell us why?
The Senate, because they're slow, decided to delay the effective date of our bill from August 8th to January 1st of 2019. That was pretty much it.
All right. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Randall, please open the machine. And members, please proceed to vote on the motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1012. Representative Beckman, Representative Hooton, Kraft Tharp, Landgraf, and Willett, please vote. Please close the machine. With 63 yes votes, 1 no vote, and 1 vacant, the motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1012 is passed. All right. Would anybody like to repass House Bill 1012 as amended? Madam Majority Leader Becker.
I'll do it.
Yay.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1012 as amended.
All right, the question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1012 as amended. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 57 yes votes, 7 no votes, and 1 vacancy, House Bill 1012 is repassed as amended. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. All right, that takes us to House Bill 1103. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1103.
House Bill 1103 by Representative McLaughlin, House Senator requiring concerning the ability of a local government to require a driver to meet safety standards for the use of an off-highway vehicle.
Representative McLaughlin.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House concur with the Senate amendment.
All right. Would you like to tell us why?
I would love to tell you why. The Senate actually wants more safety regulations, and they want to clarify the safety regulations that were on there to begin with.
All right.
Let's go ahead and open the machine to vote on that motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1103. Representative Beckman, Representative Hooton, Representative Humphrey, Representative McKean, Representative Rosenthal, please vote. This is a motion to concur to Senate amendments to House Bill 1103. Please close the machine. With 40 yes votes, 24 no votes, 1 vacancy, motion to concur with Senate amendments is passed. Madam Majority Leader Becker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1103 as amended.
The question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1103 as amended. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Members, it's getting very loud in here. We are on Senate amendments, and we have a couple of others to do. Members, it is very loud in here. Representative Everett, Representative Humphrey, Representative Sias, please vote. Please close the machine. With 40 yes votes, 24 no votes, and 1 vacancy, House Bill 1103 is repassed as amended. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1138.
House Bill 1138, Representative Marno, Senator Zenzinger, concerning standardizing public official oaths of office in connection with providing uniform oath text, establishing requirements for taking, prescribing, administering, and filing public oaths of office.
Representative Martins.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to concur with
Move.
Senate amendment.
You move to concur with Senate amendments?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Question before us is the motion to concur with Senate amendments. Representative Martin, would you like to tell us why?
Sure. When we had an amendment from Representative Leonard that got on this bill about oaths and affirmations, we just missed a couple things when that amendment went on, and so we just had to put in swear or affirm, and then they also added a line that said, it is lawful for a person electing to swear an oath to swear by an ever-living God if that person so chooses.
Okay.
That makes sense.
All right. With that, please open the machine, Mr. Randall, and members, please vote how you like, but vote on the motion to, you're voting on the motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1138. Please close the machine. With 51 yes votes, 13 no votes, and 1 vacancy, the motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1138 is passed. Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1138 as amended.
Question before us is repassage of House Bill 1138 as amended. Mr. Randall, please open the machine. Members, please proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 41 yes votes, 23 no votes, and 1 vacancy, House Bill 1138 is repassed as amended. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1196.
House Bill 1196, Representative Exum, all Senators Todd, Martinez, and Minnick, concerning authorization to verify the disability of an applicant to the Aid of the Needy Disabled Program.
Representative Exum.
Good morning, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Good
I
morning.
move that the House concur with the Senate amendments to House Bill 1196.
All right, the question before us is a motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1196. Would you like to tell us why?
Sure. The Senate was actually paying attention, and they took out some duplicate language, barring or certified. You don't need to be certified and licensed, just licensed. So they did a good job for a change.
All right, with that, Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 43 yes votes, 21 no votes, and 1 vacancy, the motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1196 is passed. Madam Majority Leader Becker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1196 as amended.
Question before us is a repassage of House Bill 1196 as amended. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 36 yes votes, 28 no votes, and 1 vacancy, House Bill 1196 is passed. Co-sponsors. All right, please close the machine. And with that, announcements and introductions. Representative Janal.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Health Insurance and Environment Committee will meet at 1:30 today. We are going to hear 6 bills, and this is the order. There is remote testimony for the first 3. It's 1122, 1123, 1194, and then we will hear Senate Bill 146, 1282, and 1212. See you at 1:30.
All right, further announcements and introductions. Representative Kraft-Tharp.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Business Affairs and Labor Committee will hear 2 bills today, 1250 and 1234. See you there.
Representative Winter.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members of Transportation and Energy, we have a license plate bill and our 2 conservation easement sunset bills. We will be meeting upon adjournment, 10 minutes upon adjournment. We have a full schedule, so please be on time.
Representative Catlin.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I wanted to remind you that tomorrow morning is the Rural Caucus. The way it sounds in here, it might even end up being a raucous caucus the way things were happening today. So come by and check us out. We'd like to see you there tomorrow morning.
All right, Representative Foote.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. State Affairs is meeting at 10:30 in the normal spot LSBA to hear two bills, Senate Bill 107 by Representative Thurlow, and then Senate Bill 76 by Representative Melton. We'll see you at 10:30.
All right, further announcements or introductions? Any further announcements or introductions? Seeing none. Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move the House stand in recess until 1 o'clock today.
All right, members, seeing no objection, the House will stand in recess until 1 p.m. today.